Hello, good day, everyone. Welcome to the Out of the Box developer session. And yeah, let me say a quick hello to everyone that's here with us. So let me start with Thiago. Hey, Thiago, how are you, man?
Hello, Yogo. Hello, everyone. I'm great. I'm good, and very excited to hear more about this subject. It's not the first time that uh, we have our guest here, and yeah, he always bring uh, an amazing subject.
Excellent.
I'll not talk about him because I will let you to present him.
We won't spoiler.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will do that.
But let's say hello to Chila then. Hey, Chila, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Hugo, and everyone. Good night or good good evening, good day, wherever you are. So, looking forward to this episode to learn more about how you can combine two interesting topics, uh, learning Java and how uh, can you connect it with Raspberry. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's true. Today we're gonna have a really interesting combination, right? A modern Java
Mm.
25 with Raspberry for interactive learning. So yeah, I'm also looking forward. But before, let me just say hello to Pedro. Hey, Pedro, how are you?
Hey, hello everybody. Yeah, me too. I'm pretty excited. It's been a while that I don't see how Java is going. So, and I know that Java 25 is pretty awesome, and using such a small hardware, it will be very cool to see.
Yeah, because we have these people usually say that Java, oh, hello world of Java is the worst one because you have to write lots of static void main, blah blah, and nowadays they made a lot of uh, improvements and made it so easy so that people stop talking about hello world stuff and see some more cool features. And I see Samuel just wrote here, hey Samuel, good to have you here watching us. And if you are watching us, please say hello here on the chat so we can also talk with you. And if you have any questions, it will be better. This session will be the whole better if you bring your questions, and then we can interact with you as well. So without having to wait too much, I want to call him. Our guest of today is Igor Souza. He is a software engineer from Teco, right, Igor, and an evangelist for big data. So how are you doing, Igor? Thanks a lot for accepting our invitation here today, and yeah, we are looking forward with this topic.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Nice to be here again. Thanks for the invitation. Yeah, today I bring a kind of a different topic, maybe a nice one regarding Java in education and how we combine these in a nice way. Then we can answer things that Java is not verbose anymore, Java is not slow anymore, and we can have a nice way to learning programming skills or maybe object orientation in a nice way, in a simple way.
That's cool. And yeah, I think we had this have been a challenge, right, on learning field because people are saying that it's verbose, that's slow, but nowadays I think a lot changed, and yeah, I think it's better maybe show than talk. And I know that you bring a presentation, so if you want to share your screen, please
Yeah,
feel free to do so. Yeah.
let me share my screen here. Can you see the
Yes.
presentation?
Your
Can you see the presentation?
desktop. Oh yeah, now it has your presentation. Let me put
Yeah, fair play. So again, modern Java for interactive learning is the name that I created. The idea here is a nice way to teach or show Java and the new functionalities in an easy way, right? My name is Igor Souza. I put my two new initiatives that I have. On the left, you have Top Key Igor. is a Substack mail list and newsletter blog posts about Kafka that I generated. If you follow me on social network, you're going to see that I always post about Apache Kafka. At IGFL Souls, you can find me in all social networks. And on the right one, I started recently, is the Igor IoT, but I joke that is the I Go Riot. And it's where I play with Java and things like that. And there's loads of blogs there regarding Java is not verbose anymore, Java is not slow anymore, and so on and so on. And then I play with Raspberry Pis and Pi4j and things like that. So everything starts. The initiative of Java education started, at least for me, right? Maybe 8 months ago, I was inside of the Coder Club Slack, and I was talking with people there, and I was wondering or asking, why not Java, right? Why we don't have Java on the Coder Dojo? And then one of the ideas inside the community was like, why not we create a kind of a place, maybe a GitHub page, where we can gather all the links for courses, tutorials, and everything that we can have Java worldwide or around the web. And then it's a start point, right? We have a universal source of points for start where I can find everything or a good content. Because I realized that we don't have Java in several places, not because the content doesn't exist, it's because the awareness of the courses, or maybe because people don't want to or they're against. So the idea was people in a collaborative way can submit and contribute, and then we have a place that we can start with. So I'm going to talk here about a little bit about the idea, right? The Java education, things about Java 25. Then we have nice tools already there: JBang, Notebook, GraalPy, Raspberry Pi, and we can have it all together, right? We can have everything together. Imagine a Java running in a notebook where you can write a hello world in one line. You can run this inside a Raspberry Pi. You can have the GraalPy, that is the compiler from GraalVM that performs Python. And then you can have you can run in one single line command as well, a shebang file. So you can have everything together, right? And if you think as a Raspberry Pi has a SD card, as OS and everything, and you can find a Raspberry Pi Model 0 around $5. So you can have a $5 machine that you can deploy everywhere, right? If you're going to do a hello world in Java, you don't need too much memory and things like that. And then you can clone the SD card, right? So you have the environment ready to go, just copy, paste, clone, ready to go in an easy way, right? So it's quite powerful. I'm quite sure you guys already saw these myths around, right? Java is too complex for beginners. Java is too slow, inefficient. Java is too verbose. Java is too difficult to be the first programmer. It's not good to start with object orientation program and so on and so on. There's thousands of myths outside. And contents like showing that Java is not slow anymore, or Java is not verbose anymore, or that we can have this in notebooks and in an easy way with content for kids. We try to mitigate those myths and show that this is not true, at least not nowadays. And if we have a place to find those, right, we can reproduce it, we can apply, and hopefully people around the world can use in an easy way. So I had the privilege or the luck that FullJ, Friends of JDK, they support the idea. So then the GitHub is there, right? So github.com, FullJ, Java and Education Catalog. It's open, it's community driven, so you can go there and create your pull request and submit the links that you have. So that's the idea, right? So then on the top of FullJ, I end up with a blog post that I explain the idea. They did a podcast with me, so where I talk about the idea. And there's people in other platforms sharing and proposing ideas and doing some contributions, right? One of the things that after I start the idea, I was talking about milestones, right? So then came the idea, because I was talking about Code Club, right? That is inside Coder Dojo. I came with the idea that one of the milestones could be put Java inside the Coder Dojo. Coder Dojo nowadays is inside the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Again, I'm running Raspberry Pi, so everything aligns, right? Everything. And then inside the Raspberry Pi Foundations, there is loads of other efforts or initiatives, right? We have the Coder Club, we have the Coolers Project, we have the AstroPi, we have the Hello World magazine, we have the Magpie magazine, and so on, more and more and more. And more than another thing, right, is the Pi4j. Pi4j is the most used, or maybe the famous one, lib, that you can control the Raspberry Pi and the GPIOs with Java. So then putting everyone together and everything together is the challenge, right? Coder Dojo looks, for some reason, Raspberry Pi Foundation is not open to add Java, maybe because they have some limitations, maybe because they need someone to take care, to align, to control, to define, and they don't have the resources, and so on and so on. Could be those kind of problems. There is the Codes.org, that is maybe the most famous Coder Dojo competitor in US, let's say a US version of the Coder Dojo, and they have Java. And then I was like, okay, if they have Java, should we show Raspberry Pi Foundations? Your main US competitor has, right? So why you don't have it? Try to understand the user case. We was talking about maybe we go against the kids or the people that are doing the course and ask them to show the Raspberry Pi Foundation, hey, we want Java, instead of me or the community saying, let's add Java, things like that, right? I bring the Java community in the sense that I'm trying to generate a trend in here and maybe convince Raspberry Pi Foundation in the future. Then the Pi4j guys and the Pi4j idea, of course, they embraced the idea. They came aboard and say, yes, let's do it, because there is a nice, if Java becomes official in the Raspberry Pi Foundation, Pi4j is the first option. Of course, I contribute with the project as well as open source, and I do blog posts and generate content. Then one of the things that we start is we submitting ideas to Hello World magazine. We submit ideas for Magpie. One of the ideas that I was joking about, I want the full magazine, the cover of the magazine, and let's say a full magazine, only Java or only Java in education, things like that. Another nice thing is the AstroPi, is the idea that they have a deal with the European spaceship, and then they send the Raspberry Pi with a sensor head through space, and then they run the code of the kids in the space, and the sensor head has humidity, temperature, and pressure sensors. You can collect those informations and do some operation. There is a 8x8 LED display as well, and then kids submit codes there and they run and things like that. So then I was like, if we manage to do a lib inside Pi4j, that we have the same idea, right? And then we control sensor heads, then we can try to sell the idea that let's send Java to space, right? So I'm poking people and I'm doing things to send Java to space. So if you want to see Java in space, please support the idea, and we are going to see things like that soon. And the Cooler project is they get the Coder Dojos around world and all the best ideas. They join some events. They do events around Europe or worldwide. And then the same idea, right? I want to see Cooler projects with Java. And then, so that's, I'm trying to embrace everywhere, right? And then this came a lot of efforts regarding let's show, let's prove, let's have more information, right? And then the combination of things, all the new JEPs on Java 25, JBank, GrowPy that is inside of KVM, Jupyter Notebook. Nowadays we have the Jupyter inside the VS Code. Even there is a famous plugin from Oracle that they have the interactive vision. So you can install the plugin. If you don't have Java, after you install the VS Code, Oracle VS Code for Java, he asks you and he say, do you want to install Java? And then by default, he shows 25 because it's the last ETS. Then you have it. And then once you have that, you just need to press one button or maybe click one place or a shortcut. And then you have the notebook out of the box and you can do the hello world in one line, right? So if you get this same VS Code and same plugin and run your Raspberry Pi, you have everything on the top of the Raspberry Pi. Then what you just need is use the Pi4j, and then you can control the Raspberry Pi and you have everything together, right? Now, instead of you installing the OpenJDK or AWS JDK or any JDK, you can use the GraalVM. And the GraalVM 25, right? It's already there. You can collect. You have the GraalPy. For the GraalPy, you just add something on the top of the JVM. So then you have a notebook with GraalVM that you're able to call GraalPy on the Raspberry Pi. And if you want JBang, you have it. If you want anything from Java, you have it. And if you want Pi4j, you have it. Simple like that. Next, right? You don't need to do anything. And then you have a hello world in one line. There is several efforts outside, loads of different people doing things. As I said, there is a nice article on Hello World in this magazine. I think it's from the 2 previous version. And the Java Pro, there is an article from me as well regarding how you can have this in a nice way, really simple, really fast, really clean. That's one of the ideas of the initiative of the GitHub, right? Because there is loads of contents outside. It's easy if you have a place that you can find everything and discover. And then here is just a super simple showing the Java 25, you can have a hello world in less lines. If you see on the right one, you can see that hello world is 3 lines, right? You can definitely remove the jumping lines and have everything in one line. Again, you can definitely say I have a hello world in one line, but then it's a trade-off between readability and clarability of the code, right? But if you have a Jupyter notebook, as in this example, you can definitely have print hello world in one line, right? So that's what I'm talking about. And the other thing that I want to show is the shebang files, right? You can have a file. The only tricky part here is the file cannot be .java, right? So you create a file that it could be anything. In my example here is a script, right? So then if you look my scripted, in the first line is shebang, the star and the path of my Java. And then I can do hello world. Of course, this file should be with permission. So you do a chmod 777 or whatever. And then you / name of the file. And then you have it. You can do everything simple like that, right? So that's what I want to present. I will stop to share. So with that, I think I show how easy it is to have us install, right? Again, you don't need to understand about how I put Java on the class path, how I install Java. You don't need to understand anything, right? You just need the VS Code and the Oracle plugin. If you don't have Java, they will ask you, do you want Java? And then they are going to show options. You can definitely show OpenJDK. You can definitely choose Oracle version, Coreto version, AWS version, Azure version, IBM version. Doesn't matter. If you choose the GraalVM one, you have the GraalPy as a plus. And if you do this inside the Raspberry Pi, that's it. You have everything ready to go.
Cool, excellent. I think we had. Sorry, go ahead, Pedro. I think there's a. Can you hear us, Igor? I think it was.
Yes.
Okay.
I can.
Go ahead, Pedro. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. I think my question would be, what GraalPy in this situation? So why we need GraalPy here?
So GrowPy is the idea that inside a Java you can call Python things, right? And then
Okay.
on the Raspberry Pi, in the Raspberry Pi world, if you like, majority of the samples and things are already in Python. Again, you don't need GrowPy, right? You can use as a plus, but you don't need it. You can definitely try to write everything in Java. But let's say you want to use a sensor, or do you want to use a new hat on the Raspberry Pi that already has Python APIs. And then start off trying to recreate the wheel and do it everything again in Java. Your Java can call the Python API and in a kind of a out of the box way. Then you can use GrowPy, right? But again, GrowPy is an extra thing. Again, you not necessarily need it, but helps a lot, and you don't need to do it. And then the idea is all the content that are there for Coder Dojo and kids regarding Python, you can easily translate to Java, right? And then you have it, everything. And again, I was talking the same thing. It's not about the content. There is loads of content outside. It's about people awareness, and it's about the showing that's possible and people willing to accept, right? That we have. Every time when we talk about Raspberry Pi, it's Python, 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 or not Raspberry Pi itself, hardware itself, right? Ah, no, we cannot run Java here. It's going to be too slow, or it's not going to work. There is no memory, right? So those kind of things. So bring the awareness that yes, it's possible. Yes, there's lots of alternatives. Yes, you can do everything. That's the key, right? That's the idea.
I was trying to remember. I think there was a discussion in regarding to Java in education, right? That was how we can actually make it more a present and accessible for the students because of these mites that you just bring here, and yeah, nowadays with these new features, how do you see it's going to uh, how do you see how it can be actually achieve those the students again, because they already created these they already believe on that myth, and it's quite I see like a challenge to change this mindset.
Yes, that's the challenge exactly. As you said, there is already a group, an email group. It's called Java Dash Education. It's organized by Oracle people. It's open to anyone, but it's organized by Oracle. Actually, the leader is Heather, the leader of JCP. She's organized the meeting. They do a call once a
Heather
month
Ventura,
ish,
right?
sometimes every yes,
Okay.
sometimes every 4 or 5 weeks, a month ish, and it's open to everyone. You can join, and then all the meetings they are talking about ideas, and the challenges are the same. There is loads of efforts outside. There is loads of content, and even so, people are against or people don't want to, right? So, as I said, the challenge is not Java itself, right? Not the content itself. It's people, right? It's mindset. So people they don't know that Java is not slow anymore. They don't know that Java is not verbose anymore. They don't know about Java can run in a credit card computer size, right? So they bring them the awareness of this is the challenge. More and more people generate content, so Java is not verbose, Java is not slow, Java, and so on and so on. So then the idea is share. There is a nice effort that started recently. That is the Java Involve, was created by Bruno Brogers, a Brazilian guy. And again, it's open to community to create contribution. And then on the site it shows all the famous or most or majority of the famous Java APIs in an old way, in a new fashion way, right? So then you can compare side by side how usually to be and how is now, right? How is to be the best practice nowadays. And you're going to see in a easy way that is faster, that is less verbose, less number of lines, more clean, and more easy to use, right? It's easy to talk about you can do a hello world in one line. And then there is a nice trade-off here between easy to understand and easy to write, right? So you can do a if in one line. Even you can have the eternal operator in some language, right? So you have a first if, some first condition, question mark, second condition, question mark, the other. You can have things like that. For example, I don't know, in Python, in JavaScript, or in Kotlin. But then you have the trade-off. This is something that is easy to read. So again, you can always talking about less number of lines doesn't necessarily means clarity or stability, right? And no one sell a software by the number of lines, right? So when you try to sell something, you don't sell by how many lines you have it. So I usually to joke that when someone say Java is verbose, perhaps that person didn't understood what is algorithm. He didn't understood what is a paradigm, right? Because in Java you have object orientation, so everything is an object. So you need an object, right? And you need types, right? Java is harder on types, so you need a type. So if you can have something in Python that you don't care about objects, you don't care about types, then you have a faster. But again, you can have a one-line code, but do you understand what's happened behind? You don't have concepts of pointers and memory because you don't have it. You don't have concepts of memory allocation because you don't create types. You don't have concepts of object orientation because you don't have object, right? So you can definitely have something really fast in one line, but you don't use any of the computer science knowledge, right, or ideas. Again, I'm not saying Python is a bad. I have lots of Python experience. I play with Python. I work with Python. So similar JavaScript, right? You can have things on JavaScript. You can end up doing the famous internet meme, right? You can compare object with primitive values, right? You can compare a letter with number. This is good. This is a trade-off, right? It's nice to have it, but it's bad in the same way.
Yeah.
So I don't think that is right or wrong, right?
But yeah, can become a mess if you do not use it properly. Igor, you have shared something that I think it's very interesting, that it's the notebook, the Jupyter notebook. I played with it many years ago when I was trying to create my kind of LLM model.
Nice.
Because with Python it's very easy and you can use the Jupyter notebook to do this kind of iterations and all the stuff. And you said that now it's possible to use with Java, you showed, but do you know if it's possible to run it on the cloud? For example, using, I think it's Google Colab, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
it's possible to run Java there or not yet?
Yes, it's possible. There is Google has one. I think all clouds has done. Oracle has one. Google has one. Probably AWS. I don't know the name of the AWS one, but they should have a similar one. All the majority of them, for example, the Google one, right, is kind of a PaaS as a service. You have the SaaS as a service, but you have the infrastructure there, and you can install, right? So you have the terminal where you can install. So if you look JBank to notebook, just Google JBank to notebook, you're going to see that JBank integrates with notebooks, and then there is maybe 4 or 5 different compilers for Java, kernels, they call kernels inside the notebook. And then each one has a slight different way to install. And they have a different way how you integrate with Maven or things like that. So you can import libs and do it. But they run on the top of a Jupyter notebook, right? Jupyter notebook has some competitors, Jupyter notebook, Jupyter lab, and so on. So you can have one of them or all of them or different them, they mismatch, right? And then the idea is once you open, you can choose the kernel, and then there is 4 or 5 kernels. The idea is just changes how the magic commands work, how you import and things like that. But the Oracle plugin install a different version, maybe created by Oracle. They call visual interaction or something like that. I forget the name. Interactive visual or something like that. And then, but they are compatible, right? They are compatible with them. And then in that one, you don't need any settings because when you put the plugin, all the configuration is there for you. The only trade-off is you need the VS Code, right? Because if you get a Jupyter Notebook itself, standalone, you don't need the VS Code, right? You just install. Jupyter Notebook works as a web server, right? And that's it. You have everything ready to go. And
Yeah, because I think it's very useful when we are teaching, for example, for someone that's trying to learn strings or this kind of stuff, play around because it's very easy.
yeah,
I
the
don't know
other
if there
thing
is
is
also
in
another
Jupyter Notebook,
which benefit of it.
the other thing
Yeah.
is on Jupyter Notebook, you have the is a kind of a browser, right? And you can have HTML, and then you can have images and tutorials and things like that, right? You can have interactive things, so you can have like a Dropbox or combo box or things that you can interact in that thing, right? So imagine I have a Java program that expect a variable. So instead of type the variable, I have a input form that I can type, right, in a HTML. So you can play with things like that. And then this brings kind of a nice way to visualize, right? What I created a long time ago, or what I play with this because I like hardwares and I play, I came with the idea with a LED stripe, right? So imagine you have a LED stripe, a LED stripe, and then you have controls of independence, turn on, turn off each one of the LEDs, and even change the colors if it's a LCD. And then you can see this as a pipe or array or a queue or whatever you want to call, right? A data structure in a sequence, right? So then you can explain concepts of loops and iteration and how you add, how you remove, how you sort, right? In a visual way, right? Then you can definitely, you don't need the physical thing because on Jupyter Notebook, you can have a kind of some HTML and then you can have a kind of chart or you can draw something, right? The idea of this helps a lot, especially when you try to teach people that don't have coding experience or is learning code for the first time, or even teenagers and kids, right? I can show a picture if you like. I think I have something here. Wait, I will share my screen again, quick. Again. And I just show up just to show this. Can you see this? Can you see this? No, you can. You need to see this. Yes. Can you see it? It's sharing. That's the idea, right? On the top, you have the LED stripe, and then the bottom is the idea, right? So you have a hey, then you can talk about index, sorting, like that. Right? It's quite simple. This, if you can turn on and turn on independent lights in different colors, right? So you can have everything. It's really powerful tools.
Yeah, it's a fun way to teach maybe children or kids. And one more thing, Igor, you shared the GitHub repo for
Yeah,
free, the Java Education
I
Catalog.
will. I will send all the links, and you guys can share at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have already shared some links here. Uh, but can you talk a little bit about it? How it works? Let's say, for example, that someone here that are watching us or here with anyone of us want to contribute because it's open source, right? So
Yeah.
what is the purpose of this repo? How can we help? This is kind of the question. How can we
Yeah, yeah.
contribute?
So the idea is to gather all the links, right? I create the I was joking with that, right? I create the repo and I didn't put anything, it was empty, right? So it's a collaborative way, right? It's not mine. If you like it, people should go there and put. The idea is if you know any content regarding Java in education, could be a course, could be a video, could be a tutorial, could be sites like Java Involve, could be Full J, could be anything, right? You can go there and create a pull request and submit your links, right? The GitHub is just an MD file with the links. Then people propose some categories. We divide, here are the courses, here are the videos, here are the... That's not fixed. If people came with different proposals, we might change, right? We start with, here are the courses, but this could involve, and then we can have a section for the hardware, or we can mix the hardware there. We don't have a defined solution. It's the idea is the community is supposed to bring the effort and try. One of the links that is already there is the Oracle One Java in Education. That is maybe the most famous one regarding Java. That is already applying in several places worldwide, including the Coder.org. That is the US version of the Coder Dojo. There is content, loads of content, right? They divide the content by how they classify the schools, right? In Europe, or at least in UK, they usually say K-12. So it's from first degree up to second study, and then you have like kids from 9 to 10 in that one, kids to 10 to 11 or whatever, split by 8. And then you have the courses by age, right? So I don't know if your kids in K2 or K3 or 5 or 6, whatever. And then for each one you have. I know in Brazil it's completely different. We say first degree, second degree, and third degree. Again, each part of the country or continent should be, they can adapt it for whatever, right? There is the European Union colors and grounds and things like that. So each one should apply. But again, we don't have those instructions there. We just have links. And as you can see here, like we have wiki, tutorials, and courses. And as I said, we don't have too many, right? This is there for, I don't know, few weeks already, or months, I suppose say. And the idea is people should go there and start contributing. Even the Java Involved is not there, right? As you can see. And then
Yeah.
people from the that one. And we get support from the friends of Full J, friends of OpenJDK. And that's it. That's the idea.
Cool. Yeah, I just picked the website here just to showcase, because we were discussing last week. We were discussing about this Java Evolver website. We find it very interesting to showcase the difference of the evolution of the language. It shows very very clearly. I think I don't know where is the one.
And you can. It's
in
a collaborative way, right? You can create your pull request and put your contribution there.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, so if anyone wants to contribute on Java in education, I think these two repos are very interesting to bring open APR and bring your contribution. I didn't know that the Java Vault have also the repository here, so good to know.
Yeah.
Very
the other thing is the language, right? So far we only have the English courses, but if people knows in different languages, they can submit as well. We don't know exactly the structure of the folders. Should we split by language? Again, community should submit things and then we decide. But so far we only have English, right? But it's open for everyone. There is a nice article about again Bruno Borges as well. He was using cloud codes to translate the Involved to several languages, right? You can easily find on Google how was being done. And the CI/CD behind as well, right? You can even find they heavily use JBang there, and then they have a script to translate the thing and generate the HTML page. So I really recommend. This is not for learning, right? This is more for people advanced, I would say. But yeah, there's nice things around.
Excellent. I see Leticia just say hello here. Hey, Leticia, good to have you here. If you have any question, please here. Yeah. So, Pedro, I think you were to ask something. I see you kind of raised your hand. No, no. Oh, sorry. So I see also Andres. Hey, Andres, great to have you here. Yeah, I think Thiago
Yeah,
asked about regarding to how to contribute, and I was also thinking if there is um, about not on the repositories but on the community. There's you mentioned a lot of community, but there's some any meeting, any meetups, or any events that is going on that people can join and know more about the movements regarding to Java in education.
Yes, as I said, there is the email group Java Dash Education. You can find on Google. You shouldn't find. It's organized by Oracle, right? People from Oracle, but it's open to anyone. You can join. I normally there in the calls, and we talk about the different initiatives worldwide. They submit Java education in different conferences. That's what I'm saying. My idea of the first milestone to get somehow Java inside the code dojo that implies Java inside the Raspberry Pi Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Java Evolved idea. There is more other things around. One of the things that I'm trying there is submitting, as I said, like I was joking, right? I want the full magazine, right? The full. So I want the cover. So submitting call for papers and ideas for magazine to have perhaps maybe in one day we are going to see a full magazine of Java education plus hardware or not, things like that, right? Pi4j as well is another project that you can have a look if you want to contribute, if you like to play with hardwares and things like that. Even you don't need to necessarily go there and generate code. You can contribute with ideas or with blog posts or documentations or translation, things like that. The GitHub as well, if you know a link, if you know a video, you can add. If you have content yourself, right, there is loads of people watching here or even live or in demand that maybe they generate content, they have articles, they have something regarding Java and application. They can add themselves there or add the contribution there. And it's special in the first moment, right? Contents that shows that Java is not verbose, Java is not slow. Nice ways helps a lot, right? Bring this ever. I think in the last a month-ish, I generate loads of things regarding Java is not slow, Java is not verbose. I generate different versions, teenager kids friendly. I have 2 articles on Full J. Actually, you can easily find it's my last 2 articles there. One was in the 21st of February. That was the Legends of Zelda Day, and then you can learn how Java is not verbose by playing Zelda. And the other one, I think, is 27 of February or something like that, was the day that Pokemon completed 30 years anniversary, and then you can learn how Java is not slow by playing Pokemon. Those kind of ideas,
That's
right?
cool.
So that's the fun, yeah. And
Um,
then the other thing that's funny, right? Today, 10 of March, is the Mario Day because it's March 10, right? March 10. So it's MAR10. Becomes a famous hashtag worldwide, I
I
don't know,
didn't
four
know
or
that.
5 years ago. And then they created the Mario Bros. Day. Today is the Mario Day. And then on So Java, they create a efforts. Yes, they start the collab times, right? The call for people to join and talking about. They do in English if someone not Brazilian show up, but because it's a Brazilian community, normally it's in Portuguese because all people that join is Brazilian. And then they create an effort or an initiative yesterday, because today is Mario Day. The idea was to post on any social network and trying to do any kind of relation with Java and Mario. Could be an image the AI generated, could be a blog post, could be a game, could be anything, right? You can post one line, or you can post a blog post or a full game in game, whatever, right? It doesn't matter. The idea is just do it for fun, for the community, and they create the hashtag. I think is So Java Mario Day. So you can go there and search on social networks and see. I checked it before, right? And I saw really nice things, really nice things outside. So the power of the community, the ecosystem, right, is around. So those are the initiatives, or those are the things that we want to collect and gather and group and use it in our favor, right? The second wave, or the second thing that I'm working on, is I'm close with the Py4J guys, and I'm translating or putting efforts to help them to get the Py4J. They starting a new project. They are going to release soon, maybe end of this month and soon. It's already on GitHub, but they are going to release a new version. That is the Py4J drivers, that you have samples and ways to connect with other things. And then one of the things that is already there is the sensor head. And then if you have a nice code that plays with sensor head, we can send Java to space through the AstroPy, right? So then my second wave or effort, right, is going to be help me to send Java to space. I want your help to send Java to space.
We have to create a hashtag for that.
Yes, I will create a hashtag. I will do a blog post, probably inside FullJ as well. I will do after the official release of the Py4J driver, right? But the idea is I'm going to ask people to reshare and tag AstroPy or tag the European Space Center to say then we want Java on space, right? So then together we will put Java on space. That's the other things that I'm playing with, right? And again, follow up will be the cooler project, and I want people to tag and poke them because we want Java on the cooler project, and so on and so on, right? So we have lots of things to do it to poke people and perhaps win by force, let's say, right? And put Java there.
To expand the presence of the community, right? I think that's a lot of a big contribution, right? Being on this on other places, other communities, and be present.
Again, it's about people, right? So it's a long journey, let's say, right? So it's not going to be from today, from tomorrow, from a day to night, but slowly, step by step, we get there. We will get there.
Cool.
And another way that you can contribute, it's with ideas. So if you came or if you know any other idea, how we can make Java more accessible, how we can have Java more easy for teaching, special kids and teenagers, please submit a pull request there, create discussion, even on the GitHub, or join the Java Education mail group, and together we will get there, right?
Cool. I'm not the type of guy that plays with hardware. I'm just used for corporate development, so just this enterprise system. But I'm curious, what kind of I don't know if there is a use case, an interesting use case that was created using Java and I don't know Raspberry Pi that Wolf mentioned, just to give an idea what kind of project people are doing these days on these.
There is a hashtag Java on Raspberry Pi. You can search Java on Raspberry Pi hashtag, and you're going to find loads of examples. You can have a look on the Pi4J website as well. You're going to find loads of scenarios. But there's loads of things, right? People using for fun or for entertainment. I saw a vendor machine. So I saw a vendor machine that was in a crash moment, right? So you see the error in the screen, and then on the errors, the OS message, and then you can see that was using Java and using Pi4J. I saw in a famous European store as well that they usually to have a panel that shows the number of the queue for collect the product. And again, was a crash on the OS or something like that. And you see a OS error, but you was able to see the Pi4J there, right? They have, that was a Raspberry Pi, and that was a Java. But one that I saw a long time ago, I'm not sure if it was Germany, if it was Netherlands, or if it was Brussels, Belgium, that the train stations or the things that shows the panel that shows the information about the trains and the next train availables and the timetables was based in Raspberry Pi OS or with a Raspberry Pi. I work in a big company for a long time, and then on the office, they usually to have big screens around the walls, and the screen shows informations like internal intranet informations regarding Dublin or regarding Word or regarding the company or stock market or information regarding campus and things like that. And all the big screens was with a Raspberry Pi plugged behind, and then Raspberry Pi was the one that controls the information on the TV. So those kind of things, right? Now in the entertainment, people are doing really crazy things. Games, arcadians. That was created for a Brazilian guy. That do you know if you have a different glass? If you have several glass and you pour different volumes of water in different glass, if you hit the top of the glass, creates a different sound. So in that sense, you can have a sequence of glass with different volumes of water and create a piano, right? Ish.
Yeah.
So the guy creates something that has some sticks in autonomous click the glasses, and then he calls a caipirinha because he was a Brazilian, right? And then he creates the caipirinha piano, and all the controls and everything was done by a Raspberry Pi. This is kind of old, right? Maybe 6-7 years old. But again, it's just proof that Raspberry Pi, you can do really crazy things. And then there is the initiative of having a Raspberry Pi has the Pi OS, that is kind of a Linux flavor that you can install when you have everything there. And then I saw an initiative that it has a Java Pi OS version or a Pi4J OS. The idea was the same OS with all the Java already installed, everything configured. I think this is already abandoned or is not involved anymore, but again, it's a community effort. Someone can go there and try to bring on fly. But the idea was to have something that you just clone the SD card and you have everything in place, right? That's what I was playing with the interactive learning, right? So if you manage to put Java, JBang, Jupyter, VS Code, and everything, once you have everything there, you just clone the SD card, right? So you can have that image. So then, again, the next person doesn't need to do anything, right? Just clone the image and plug and play, right? So things like that, right? And there's hundreds, thousands of ideas outside. I saw really, really, really nice things. I did myself in my old blog. I think it's still online. It's igfasouza.com, right? Still online. It's abandoned, but still online. There is loads of Raspberry Pi things there. Like I I create things like you can have a web application, I don't know, a Spring, a Micronaut, a Quarkus, and controls the LEDs by doing that. You have the LCD that I have a kind of a panel or a canvas that I can draw something. I play the button, the same draw is placed on an LCD. You can turn on, turn off lights. If you have a smarter plugs or smart bulbs, yeah, you can see loads of things. So you can turn on lights. You can control the temperature of your house. You can do lots of things, right? There's really crazy things.
Great, great article here. A lot of pictures of different.
Yeah, this is a hat. So Raspberry Pi has the concept of rat. It's kind of a nice board or other board that you can plug and play on the Raspberry Pi. So then you don't need soldering and know anything about electronics. And then people generate those hats with the same format, right? So you can attach on the top of Raspberry Pi, and then you don't need to know anything regarding hardware. So once you don't know about hardware, you just need about software, right? So then the Java became the idea. As you can see, boards with LEDs, boards with there is the cluster. The cluster has the idea they have a cluster and NFC tags, and then you can have moisture sensors. You can connect with TV, and Raspberry Pi is affordable, of course. They released the Raspberry Pi 5 with 16 gigas of bytes, and that one is around $100. It is a little bit pricey or maybe expensive-ish, but you have the Pi Zero that is around $5, right? So you have both ways. If you want to play with Java, the Pi Zero is good enough to start, and it's cheaper enough, and then you can play. Yeah, you can start.
Excellent. I can say that you inspired me to try it out.
Again, I usually joke that
I never tried this Raspberry Pi stuff, so yeah.
I usually joke that lots of people has a Raspberry Pi on the drawer at home, right? So not using, just collect them and go and use it.
Excellent. Cool. And yeah, I think we are close to get to the end of the session. Actually, I think we are close to the time here. But I would like to ask you if you want to give any last word, Igor, for people who are like me, just see it and see, oh, that sounds incredible to try it out. What do you have to say to them? And yeah, to get started with in this world.
Again, I think there is 2 or 3 different ideas or 2 or 3 things here, right? First is thinking about Java in education. Forget about hardware, right? You don't need a Raspberry Pi. Java in education. How you make easy for people to start programming in a normal computer. Forget about hardware. Then there is the GitHub there. You can add your contribution with ideas or with links or tutorials, right? Then that's one thing. The second thing is notebooks, right? What is a notebook? How I can have a notebook in my computer with Java, right? And again, you have the nice Oracle plugin on Visual Code. That's next. You have it. You don't care. You don't need to understand anything. Then you have Hello World is one line, and it's fast enough, right? That's the second thing. So then content that shows Java is not slow, content that shows Java is not verbose, helps a lot. How I create things for teenagers or kids or people that are starting in the program area. And then you have the third scenario, that is everything on the Raspberry Pi. Then you have, because Raspberry Pi is hardware, and then you have the hardware things. You can teach about physics, electronics, math, and things like that, right? Then you can build stuff like sensors, send Java to space, turn on, turn off lights, doing things like that. In that one, you need a little bit of more skills because not only programming, you need the hardware and everything like that. But again, there's thousands, if not billions of contents outside that step by step, how you blink. Like blink a LED is kind of the hello world of hardware, right? Turn on, turn on. Then you can do it in Java. You can do it in few lines of codes, right? Then you evolve from that step by step, and then you can build nice stuff. Now, if you are a robust or if you like to play with hardware, I definitely suggest you to check out Py4j. There is loads of articles there, py4j.com. You can find the examples. It's quite easy to do a Java program that controls some sensors, and then you can play around, right? You don't necessarily need to go and buy the Pi 5 with 16 gigas of memory and spend $100. You can start with the Pi Zero, that is around $5. That is going to work with Java as well, if you don't need too much memory, right? And because it's quite cheap, you can have a 2 or 3, then you can have a cluster if you want to play, right? You can run a cluster of Docker, or right? Then again, more you play, maybe more powerful, more memory and power you're going to need, right? So if you want to start a Kubernetes cluster, then you need maybe a Raspberry Pi with more memory. I'm a guy from the data world, right? So I want to play with Hadoop, with Kafka. So can I create a Kafka cluster? Of course. Then I need more memory, but you get my point, right?
See.
And then on the top of that, what I want to say is go there, find the ideas, Java-education, join the email group, Java Involve, contribute on the website, or Java Education Catalog, go there. By any chance, you know someone from Pi4j or Pi Foundation or Raspberry Pi Foundation or anything around that umbrella, poke them and let them know that we want Java there. And hopefully we will achieve this in one day. And be aware, or just stay with us, because I will need your help to send Java to space. I will need your help to send Java on cooler project, right? So bear with me a little bit and let's see how it goes.
Cool. Excellent. So thanks a lot, Igor. I see Alexandro and Anubhav say hello all. Thanks for being with us here. And yeah, if you have any question, I see that Anubhav mentioned. First, Alexandro just congrats the content, the topic, right?
Nice.
The combining knowledge of Raspberry Pi, powerful way to learning more tangible. Cool. And Armbab, regarding to your question, you asked about QA trying to be Java dev. We can talk more. Keep with us, and you can bring your questions, so we can bring the topic here for you, and yeah, try to discuss better ways to help you. Okay, so stay connected, and yeah, see you all on the next session. So once again, Igor, thanks a lot. Thanks for everyone that is watching us, and see you on the next session. Bye.
Thanks.